Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to the Japan Study Center. Today we are going to see the chapter of geography, and what is our topic today?
Migration trends in India. The migration trend in India, there is an important point here. Out of 1.02 billion people in the countries, is 307 billion, 30% were reported as the migrant by a place of birth. And migrant place to the birth are those who is ingameted is at a village town at the time of census and other than their place of birth. This proportion here 30% as reported in a 2001. Census excludings of Jammu and Kashmir is a more than as a what was reported in a 1991 is 27.4%. In fact, there has been steadily is increasing in the number of migrant over to the successive census. If we compare between to the 1961 and 2001, then it has been to the observe that it has increasing between 1961 and 2001 from to the 144 millions to 307 million. There is an important point here. There is 2001 from 144 billion to 307 billion. During the last 10 years, 1991 to 2001, the number of migrants excluding to Jammu and Kashmir, excluding there Jammu and Kashmir, and rose by there 32.9%. And further break of the migrants in the terms of sex and of the basis of source or degradation are given below here. There is a most important point come. Let's come to the important point. See here. In this box, there is the most important point here. India total migrant, there is a break of 2001. There is some important here. Types of migration and number of population in the million. There is a total migration male and female. There is a total migration 307. Then included at the male here are 90.4. There is a 90.4, but female here is a very exciting 216.7 female is a migration. That is amazing. And intra districts here 181.7 and inter districts here is a 76.8. Intrastate is a 42.3 and from awarded to 6.1. There is a most important point here and excited and very is important for female is a 216.7. Here is the migration number of billion. There is a most important point here. If we look at there is a moment of pattern, it has been observed that Maharashtra receive a largest number of migrants. There is a Maharashtra last is the largest number of migration here 7.9 billion. 7.9 millions and followed by Delhi 5.6 million and West Bengal is a 5.5 million. There is a number of Maharashtra here 7.9 million is a migration here. On the other hand, there is Uttar Pradesh followed by there is a Bihar and Rajasthan are three top contributors of out of migrants. But if we look at their net migrations, there are difference between in the migrant and the outer migrant is a Maharashtra stand at the top of list with the 2.3 billion net migration followed by the Delhi is 1.7 billions, Gujarat is 0.68 billions and Haryana 0.67 billion. There is a most important number here. Let's now there is a profile in details. We have a discuss below their age profile of the migrant and duration of the stay of the migrants. In sense use the first one is termed as their migrant by place of birth by age and migrant by place of last residence. The first point here, migrants by age. The migrants by age we will see as a profile of interstate migrant and intrastate migrants. Out of the total migrant as a numberings about 258 billion who is a migrant within the state. There is important out of total migrant numberings about 258 billion who is a migrant within the state and 17.4 are in the age group of 15 to 24 years. There are 23.2 in 25 to 34 years and 35.6 year is a 50 35 to 59 years. Old age here is important of migration. In the case of interstate migrants, out of which is a 42 million, there is 18.5 in this age group of 15 to 24 years. There is a 24.7 in the age group of 25 to 34 years and 36.1 in the 35 to 59. There is a most important year number. In the both group, in the interstate and intrastate migration, we find high proportion of the migrant are in the older and economically active age group here. The detail of the inter and intrastate migration will be discussed in the successive paragraphs here. The second year migrants by place of last residence. This data is collected to be understand the population of migration. It is likely that after one move out of the place of birth and one may be continued to migrate from one place to other. The study of migration by place of birth is like a studying one-time event. Data on migration by the last residence reveals is recent migration over 2 years and therefore more informative. The data on migration by the last residence is the India as per 2001 is a census so that the total number of migrant ever to 314 million. If we look at there is a duration of stay, it has been observed that is a substantial proportion among the total migrant. 101 million out of 314 million had a migrate at least 20 years back. About 98.3 billion had a migrate over the last decades. Duration here is 0 to 9 years. There is a most important duration. We will be analyze the details about the migration that took place in the last decade in the two bordered categories. The two bordered categories is important here. Intrastate and intrastate migration within these two bordered category analysis will be made in the term migration by streams and by the sex. The first year intrastate migration. Intrastate migration there is important. The majority of the migrants belong to this category. According to 2001 census, 80.73 billion of people are intrastate migrants. Among these migrants is overwhelming as a population is a 60.5% were rural to the rural migrant, whereas the only 12.3% is a belong to be category of urban to urban migrant. And the remaining 17.6% migrant is belong to be a category of rural to the urban and 6.5 is a belonging to the urban to rural area. The rest 3.1% is unclassified, which means that is a respondent have not mentioned any stream. Among the intrastate migration, about 70% were female. 70% is a female. This is a number is a very excited. 70% female here intrastate migration. 70% female. This high percentage was mainly due to the marriage. There is a mainly due to the marriage for 70% migration for a female only for the marriage due. About 69 of the female migrant for a rural to rural migration and 97% of female migrant move from one urban center to another. 13.6% is a move from rural to the urban area, only 5.6% from urban to rural area. And the rest 2.6% is unclassified. In this case of male migration is a 41.6% belong to be category of rural to the rural migrant and 18.3% belong to the urban to is urban and 27.1% is belong to the rural to the urban and 8.6% were urban to rural. The major chunks of the population who move from a rural to the rural area are mainly move out in the search of employment. The next point here, intrastate migration. Intrastate migration, there is the most important migration here. In India, is intrastate migration is a limited, is a comprehension to be intrastate migration. According to 2001 census, is a 17 million people were intrastate migration. 17 million people were interstate migrant. Out of this, as a 17 million people, there are 26.6% belong to the category of rural to the rural migrant, and 26.7 belong to the category of urban to urban, and 37.9 belong to the rural to urban, and 6.3% belong to the urban to rural here. The rest 2.6 is unclassified here. About half of all interstate migrants were males. Among them, 26% is a percentage moved within the rural area, and 26.7% is moved within the urban area. And 37.9% of migrants move from to rural to the urban area, and 6.3% from urban to rural area. There is a most important point here: interstate migration here.